fascinating. And, you know, we were talking about Dimple's photography. And before I forget, I would love to know more about, I've always wondered about this picture in Born Confused.
Ah, yes. So I have it here you have the UK version of the book. This is the US first edition. And yeah, it's in this one too. So I'll...
Oh, so yours have colour pages. Mine doesn't have colour pages.
It doesn't have what?
Mine doesn't have any colour pages in the beginning. It's just all black and white.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is black and white as well.
Oh, is it?
The color you saw, I think, is the inscription. It's black and white too.
Yeah.
That photo is it's a self-portrait my mother took in the mirror in India when I think some friends loaned my mother, my parents their camera, and they were playing around with the camera because not everybody had access to a camera, or, you know, now most of us have them on our smartphones, but it was sort of an unusual little visit from this camera. And what's interesting with this photo, I saw it for years and years and years. You know how you see family photos when you're, you know, just growing up, you go through boxes now and then, you get very used to them. I never realized it was a self-portrait until I was writing Born Confused. And there's a chapter towards the end of Born Confused where Dimple starts spending a lot of time at home and is really connecting on a different level with her parents. And she starts going through old family photographs. And then I did that. I was sort of acting out Dimple, which I did for some of the scenes in that sense. And I came across this photo because I was thinking, you know, I'll use our actual photographs and describe some things from family history and anecdote and all. And with Dimple in my mind, when I looked at this photograph for the billionth time, I finally saw what was right before my eyes all along, which is obviously a self-portrait. And you see the text is flipped because it's a portrait in a mirror, self-portrait my mother was taking in the mirror.
So it's
and then
it's a selfie.
Sorry?
Your mum took a selfie.
Yes, yes, he took a selfie back in the day. And I just thought that's so funny. I thought I knew that photo, but I didn't really see until I really sat down and, you know, gave it that time and attention. And then I just started wondering, you know, what that day that my mother took this self-portrait in the mirror, what had the rest of her day been like? And, you know, what happened during that day? What did she eat for breakfast? What conversations did she have? What was she thinking? What future was she imagining for herself? What dreams and aspirations? What hurts? What happiness is? All of those things. And I just spent quite a bit of time just looking at that photo. And then it's a strange feeling too, because, you know, she's looking straight out at me and I'm looking straight at her. And I was just thinking in that moment, like, did she have a glimmer of a sense that one day she'd be living in Western Massachusetts, so many miles away from Bombay, and years after that, you know, have these kids, American born, and for me, my brother was born in Bombay, but American kids raised in the US. And I don't know, it was very, very kind of moving looking back at my mother's younger self. And then, you know, I myself was kind of thinking about my own dreams and aspirations and working on this book, and then just thinking about my mom's. And so that photo, Dimple ends up describing that particular photo in that chapter. And the book came out in September. Both books came out in September, actually. And my parents, for years, because they knew I wanted to write, and I just was always feeling like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to write a book, and do I have anything worth saying, and can I do this? And I was so racked with self-doubt. My parents and my brother as well actually never had the doubt that I had. They had more faith in me than I had in myself. And every year my parents, around their birthdays, actually my mother, father, and brother are all born in September, and they would say, don't do anything, just write something for it. Like, write a page. If you can't write a page, write a paragraph, write a sentence. And that's the only birthday present we want, is we want you to do what you want to do and write something, and that will be our present. And then by chance, by destiny, by fate, by written in the starsness, these books came out like right around their birthdays. In fact, I think one of them came out actually on my mother's birthday, and that's completely scholastic, you know, deciding the publication schedule. So I told my editor, they were amazing, Scholastic, and I just said, can we get a can we get this photograph in there? Because this is actually more than anything, this is a gift for my parents, and telling this story more than anything, it was my way of trying to honor the story that they created, you know, for themselves and also for us.
Yeah.
And so they put the photograph in, and I think in the dedication, I think it says happy birthday to them. And then with Bombay Blues, they, is it here? Sorry, I'm taking a long time to turn the page with my cold fingers.
Yeah.
They included my parents' wedding photo. Yeah. And that, again, it came out, you know, at their birthdays. And this book, you know, that wedding photo, their wedding was in Bombay, and Bombay is the city of their courtship. And Scholastic were wonderful. They put that in there as well. And, you know, Bombay Blues, that the plot line may, you know, not include this in particularly the same way, but for me, you know, a real catalyst for my wanting to go to Bombay and set the book there was my desire to know this city that meant so much to the people who mean so much to me, where I had basically never lived. I had been there as a baby for like a year or two. And it was just wanting to have some connection to this place that was so meaningful for my parents and my brother. And then as well to find my own connection with the city. And that's, you know, kind of what Dimple does in her own way.
Yeah.